Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to the Apocalyptic Automat channel with your host here, Seth, also known as Lucifer, also known as King the Conqueror, also known as the High Evolutionary, because I am the one that is accelerating your DNA at an alarming rate. Yes, sir, Bob. That's what I do. Okay, so unfortunately, I was trying to help somebody and I broke my back. It was very painful. I'm still in pain also right now, but I'm feeling a little bit better. Um, yeah, and I would like to say a big thank you to um, Alex for the last comment. Actually, that was very. It meant a lot more than I. That's how much pain I was. This I couldn't answer the comment. It was one of the. I feel like it's one of the best comments I had. No offense to Jafar, because he's always dropping them dimes on in the comment section. Um, if you like to read intelligent comments, that's it's pretty fun to have somebody like Jafar on your channel. Um, so yeah, man, I didn't mean to, like, because I'm pretty sure the way you wrote it, you were like pretty excited when you wrote it down, and I kind of like kind of brushed you off there, but that's in how much pain that I actually was. It's not because, I didn't see the value in that message. It was like, I was just in pain, bro. So I couldn't answer back. It was so hurtful that I was in so much pain that just breathing was like, was like, yo, bruh. Like, I just broke my fucking back, man. Um, so I pulled my back while I was trying to help somebody a couple days ago. Yeah, so that's interesting. That's interesting. I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope you guys are having a great day. It's interesting. I've been keeping track more or less of whatever's going on YouTube. I'm starting to see new faces, so that means there's new scenarios that's going to be played on all spectrum of the playing field. There's gonna be like a lot of bullshittery all across the board. Well, the regular stuff. But I would say to watch out because they might pull, like, because to me personally, the whole like transgender thing where, not like everyday, whatever, people that do that shit in their own personal time. I'm talking about in the media, like, and even in socially speaking nowadays, because there's bathrooms where a guy can walk in. Well, it's not a guy, but it was a guy anyway. So there's like unisex bathrooms now, and I mean, like, in some shape or form, it always kind of existed. There was these rare places where you would have unisex bathrooms, but like I said, those were like really rare. But now it's getting into, and it was like a specific area of service, but now you can see it, like, now they're trying to put it in restaurants and stuff like that, and some restaurants have accepted unisex bathrooms. So anyways, it's not broad banned, but it was something that people were fighting about a couple of years ago, that they actually found a way to implement it. That's kind of weird. Um, it's a bit dodgy. It's a bit sketch. It's a bit sketch, bro. And I'm saying that's pretty big to me. That's a big social change. I mean, democracy is supposed to be about like the rule of the people. I mean, I talk about this on my channel a little bit, and people don't like it for some reason. They really don't like it, and I don't understand why. Because you're the one that talks about democracy. Like I never talked about the democracy. I mean, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. I don't see. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. you know, like, like I'm just, I do believe that a good system, although nevertheless, I do believe that a good rule of law should have a rule of the people involved in it. I don't think one person specifically has the complete and other, well, that's funny. I mean, that's not what I mean. What I mean to say is, what I mean to say is, how can I say this? Because I'm laughing at the same time, so it looks bad, But it's just, I mean, you want people to be able to vote for things, but you also don't want the people to have too much power where it's kind of like, stupid decisions can be made by a majority of people that are unfortunately in the majority of people that would think. Because sometimes people are dumb. People do dumb shit, like whether you like it or not. I know people are getting smarter and stuff like that, and technology and blah blah blah. But the amount of stupid shit is still there. I mean, like shit. I mean, like there's an even greater amount of stupid shit nowadays. Regardless of how much access we have to new sciences and new discoveries and shit like that. And what some people, a minority, by the way, are actually working on breaking ground in, or having achieved anything of significance in the lands of science and knowledge and whatever, right? Consciousness and whatnot, right? So my thing is, when you're at a point where it's kind of like you can almost outright do whatever you want, is kind of a problem. you know like like and it's a problem because I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate here, obviously, uh but at the same time, I mean, like, this is why you gotta have, like, it gotta work. I think a good society has to work both ways. I mean, like, you hold your leaders accountable for shit, and they make sure shit happen for you. Like, that's how I see it, right? If you're gonna talk about democracy, that's what I would think democracy should look like. But this is not democracy. They call it democracy. They put a name on the bullshittery that they're doing. Democracy, demonic, a c, like what, like demonicacy, like Democrat and like what. Anyway, so a demo, like, so I'm just, it's because I don't want to sound because it's actually an unpopular opinion to um, respect women's privacy, and it's weird, it's a weird thing to say, but I guess that's where we're at right now. We're at a point where uh, you're unpopular for thinking that. I mean, doesn't that sound bad? I mean, uh, guys, hello. I mean, it's an unpopular opinion. Like you know, like anyway. So I don't know. They call themselves Democrat, and some even proclaim to do this for a higher power, like that they're doing it for a mighty cause and some shit like that. But bro, like that's just, you know why I'm a god? Because I can think for myself. That's why I'm a god. I don't need somebody to always tell me what to do. I mean, of course, everybody has somebody they listen to and some shit, um, in some shape or form. But because at the end of the day, even if you're a person that has high ideals, like let's say a magician has high ideals because he believes in something more than himself, right? So in that case, he listens to something, right? It's still something telling you what to do at the end of the day, you know. But that doesn't mean you have to be a bitch, though. Like, like, it doesn't mean you have to be a bitch about it. Like, just, you know, choose to do what you want to do, and the things you don't want to do, don't do it. It's quite easy. It's quite simple. So, anyway, what are we talking about here? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no clue what the fuck I'm saying right now, bro. Anyways, um, the upsurge, like I said, of new people that are coming around here that are creating narratives and stuff like that. What I mean to say about all that long-winded uh, self-interrogation here, and is that something big could happen, and we should watch out. We should watch out a little bit because something big could happen. I mean, you would think, I would have never imagined that the world would twist like this. I mean, I knew it was gonna happen at some point. Like, believe me, I've been keeping up with my pop culture here, but it's the way that it's turning into that's really fucked up, dude. Like, um, and then you have like AI that's coming into play and fucking robots and shit. You got artificial intelligence. They're trying to create the ultimate, like the real thing. and they're scared of it. you know. So that means they succeeded, right? In some shape or form. But now the problem is, how do you control it, right? So anyways, and I'm not saying that anything bad is going to happen, but I'm actually saying the contrary. What I mean by that is, so we go into this like future more or less dystopian, judging by the alarming rate of power consumption, if we have enough power to do that, because we're having trouble keeping power on right now already, which is weird because we have nuclear energy. So anyways, but at some point there's gonna be a unification of the ideal of gender, I guess, for some, not for everybody, and I think that's a personal choice. I don't think it's a choice that has to be imposed, and I feel like it's funny. I feel a little bit ridiculous saying those words, because you would think that in a society that uses a archaic method of doing things, as of i.e. the government is involved, which I'm not saying that in a negative way at all. I'm saying that in the general sense of archaic, like it's ancient a little bit. So it's kind of weird that this a form of unification of anima and animus would happen on a standpoint where it comes from the like a inside job of a group of people that had the imagination of making that the starter point for the apocalypse, and I mean, talk about hackers. You want to talk about hackers. I mean, like, that's just, and it's funny because I was talking to somebody about what these guys do, and I'm like, and there's a lot of, like, what people don't realize is that they're dreaming too. The dreamer has a lot of power, man. Like, that's the thing. I mean, like, the dreamer is a very powerful entity, and what people like. So I was talking to somebody, and I was like, bro, like, we gotta like start opening our own like social clubs and shit, and and he was like, yeah, I feel that, but isn't there gonna be like he wasn't saying that somebody can stop us or something like that, but he was like, and I don't take him for somebody that doesn't like competition or anything like that. It's just anything along the lines. I think what he was trying to say is, like, isn't there going to be an opposite force? Because if you do something, it's not saying that there might be an issue, but on the edge that we want to do this, right? Like, because we understand, like, okay, we might be minding our own business by opening like a social club and shit, but at the same time, you know, isn't that gonna ruffle some feathers? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's kind of the point, kind of, because understanding the mind of a psychopath, bro, like, you gotta be courageous to to try to spend time with a psychopath, like, um, and actually try to understand how he thinks. I mean, like, yo, you got like, so, anyways, I'm getting off track. I'm getting off track, because the idea got me excited because I think that's what people should do now, man. I think people should, have their own clubs, man. Like, and like, if being having this idea of there's power in numbers, why don't you do it yourself? you know and I think that's a great idea because some people will remain individuals anyways, regardless. And there's some people that will probably believe in your ideals, and it's not about necessarily if you have an ideal per se, but of course, you gotta have you gotta have an opinion, yeah, a reason why your people would consider you a leader, right? So, and then you just do whatever the f you want, bro. Like, because this hive mind mentality here is absurd, man, and there's no way that this ends up with the bombs not being thrown somewhere, like like there's going to be a bomb, like there's something is gonna blow up, bro, like, and maybe not, but the nonsense that we're doing, I because Rome ate him themselves up. Like, no one destroyed Rome. like, like it just imploded from itself, and it was because of the way they were ruling. And these groups out there are trying to rule in the same fashion again. And the worst part is it's working. Like, it's in and that's fucked up to say, dude. Like, that's crazy, man. So, and there's a lot of people that try to act like it's like a conspiracy and shit, bro. Like, it's not. It's not. If you're saying it's a conspiracy because you're part of it, like, because it's not, bro. Like, it's just not. It's not, man. Like, yo, you could literally walk around and just straight up ask people, and if you don't want to ask, just like watch for the symbols and shit. You can see it, like, it's everywhere, so, and I'm not talking about like the McDonald's arches that I actually made a video about, 13. So, I'm talking about like on like shirts and shit like that. There's some Masons walk with like stuff that has like the logo of whatever, lodge they're from and shit. So anyway, and if you're thinking like that exists, well, there might be, because shit rolls downhill. Like shit rolls downhill, man. Like people fund this shit. There's names written down on pieces of paper, bro. Like there's some things you can't out, because somebody has to be an identity, because then how can you get something? I can't give somebody that don't have a name. I don't have a way to get back, even if it's fake. And you gotta give something, you know. So imagine, if you will, like let's say, like if like let's say you're a 2-bit uh drug dealer and shit, right? Like, okay, I want to do that, but now boom, I still have to invent a name. I still have to make, like, and I have to make sure that name has like a phone number and address, like something that's reachable and shit like that. So I gotta invest, right? I gotta invest in that, because I probably have to make somebody live at an address, and then I have to pay that person's rent. So say in there, so that when somebody calls, they can say that I live there and shit like that, right? Like, so that's a lot of shit, you know. And that's just one person, and now we're talking about like ruling the fucking world. So imagine, like, even if it's fake, there's something, right? That even the fake thing leads to something, along the line. It's hard, but I mean, if you know it's fake, like to solve a problem, what's the number one way to solve a problem? Is by being aware that it's there, right? So now you see the thing, it's there, you get to the place, and you figure out that the fucking thing is fake. you know it's fucking fake, and then you're kind of like, oh shit, okay. I mean, like so it's an interesting time that we're living in. It's quite peculiar, and all that to say, I mean, like, I'm talking about politics here. This is our politics. This is the real. That's the real politics. That's the real politics. The real politics is like, bro, like setups and shit like that, bro. And it's like a fucking maze of nonsense. So there's names, there's written accounts, there's people involved, and if you're fake and you're there, you're involved. Like you know something, like anything. Even if you don't know nothing, you know something, right? Like you got anyway. So um this is our politics. This is how we're working right now, and because of that, but you would think that would lead to more serious causes of corruption, like some fucking disease shit or some fucking shit like that, bro. Like some really fucking hardcore shit. And I'm not saying like what's going on right now is not fucked up hardcore shit, but it's fucked up hardcore shit on a parallel level of fucked up weird shit. Like it's it's like the other side of it. It's like this is, I feel like this is violence. It's obviously violence, but it's not the same kind of violence. Like it's not like, I don't like your face, boom, you're dead. Like this is more like stretching the sauce, like like stretching the rubber band, like just really winding it up, like, and if it breaks, like it will be a dystopian future. We'll live in a dystopian future, man. And there might be places that, the irradiated areas, and we're gonna have to build a anti-radiation generator and live in massive, towering apartment blocks, just like in Judge Dredd and shit. And that's very possible, because we ain't stupid. The moral of dystopian futures is that humans are stupid and will destroy themselves. And because if you look at the idea of a dystopian future, it's not like God didn't come down and wipe everybody off the face of the earth. They're still humans, and it's fucked up, but this shit is still working. So, and governments are, on top of the world, and whoever's manufacturing the most basically is on top of the world, and shit like that, and and that's the most important aspect to realize, because it's not. And how would us intelligent beings, okay, per se, would let ourselves destroy ourselves like that, right? Like, and it's weird. It's weird shit, And I know I'm speaking on a very common sense landscape here, but I feel like I have to say it. Like I feel like I feel like I have to say it, because I'm lucky enough that my platform is small enough that I can actually say that, because I mean, I don't think people would see it as a bad thing for me to say. If I uttered these exact words, I don't think people would see it as a bad thing, but at the same time, I would see why, and what I mean by I would see why, being aware of all of these things, there's dark government and stuff like that, and you know, anyway, weird shit, and yeah, I would see why that would cause an uproar. Of course, somebody would not like it, you know. Of course, somebody would not like it. But do I think it's? I don't think it's broadband, and that's also what I'm talking about. That's also the devil advocate part that I'm talking about. I don't think it's broadband. I don't think you have to. I don't think it has to be like an absolute for everybody else on the fucking planet. Like this is not an issue. We're talking about genders. We're talking about like same sex relationships and shit. Like, this is not a this is not a cause for concern. I am worried. I'm not worried about nature, but I mean, I think it's a good idea to keep an eye out for nature. I don't think that's a stupid thing. I don't think you're a retard. All right, for thinking that taking care of the fucking planet is not a bad idea. I mean, it's not like you have another. I don't have another planet for you to live on. If I had one, I'd be like, knock yourself out. But and maybe not either. Too well, yes, actually, and that's also what I'm saying. Like, it's like people don't really. It's like people don't want to knock themselves out. They want to. I don't know. It's weird, because there's a lot of people that claim to be independent, that claim to, not wanting to have a leash and stuff like that, but yet they still remain in this delusion of reality. Anyway, so Because everything's fake. You know everything's fake. So why? What's the purpose? Like, what's the point? And I know some of you guys is like sitting there thinking, well, why do you want to, be like I like money, right? And but to me, it's just it feels like to me there's a thing called gravity, right? Some people disagree that gravity exists. I think gravity has a lot of power in it. You know, so because gravity. I mean, it's not even the right word. Gravity is not even the right word at this point. But the force of push. You know, a force that's capable of, like putting you down. Until there's nothing anymore. I think it's an interesting concept. Of course, some people, understandably, I guess, more or less understandably, but some people believe that gravity might not be a real thing, and I say that because it's true that, is it a real thing? I mean, like, like, I mean, like, who likes the technology? I mean, like, so what if the sun and the moon is the gravity of the earth because we're stuck in their orbit, right? But how long is that gonna last, that we're stuck in orbit of the sun? Like, it's gravity, and most importantly, if we're twirling around the fucking sun, aren't we just like going to fucking crash into the sun and die? Like, eventually. I mean, that might take time. Allegedly that might take time, but we don't know how fast. I mean, like, yeah, we might, because we're pretty close to it. So, but there are reports that the sun is getting closer to, which makes a lot of sense, and also a very horrific a thought to have, because like, what if we pick up speed all of a sudden, and also, what if we're not spinning towards the sun, and we're actually spinning outwards of the sun? So wouldn't that mean that there would be less and less gravity on Earth? you know and then you think about, like, basketball players. Anyways, so, like, is it possible that in some realm that people are defying gravity? I mean, like, if you're looking at, like, things like, what's it called, parkour, right? Like, people that do parkour, uh that's kind of like defying gravity at some point too. And is it really the rotation of the sun and the earth that's the problem, or is it just us that just can't do it because we didn't practice? Or maybe even worse, if you really want to go fucking crazy here, if we're gonna go on crazy fucked up things to think about, like, what if there's nothing wrong with you? What if you could do it right now, but there's, like, this thing that doesn't want you to, for some reason, whatever that reason may be? And maybe, if that is a thing, maybe the reason why those people don't want you to do it is because they can't do it, no matter what. I mean, those are pretty harsh words, but it might be true. Like and or not. It might not be true. Maybe it's just the person that has a delusion, an irrational delusion that he can't do what I do. That is irrational. It's an irrational like idea that you can't do what somebody's doing. Like, of course you can't. You can't do it on the level that he's doing it, but you can do it. You can physically, if you want to play a game, you just pick up the controller and play it, or you go on the PC and play it. Like, you don't. There's other people that can like be really good at racing games or shit like that, right? But you can still do it though. You're not on that level, but you can still do it. So it's kind of weird to say that you can't do something. It's kind of bizarre, and it's weird because it's like we're nothing but meat, right? It's like we're just meat bags. Like, we're just just like potato paste, ketchup, right? Like, just and I feel like it's a great mind fuck that they did with their little scare tactics that they use on the public, because, and now that I think about it, it makes perfect sense. I mean, like, of course you're gonna resent yourself subconsciously. You're gonna have some form of guilt subconsciously. And it might not be strong, but it's there. It's still there. Because there's the news, right? You go to work, you listen to the radio, or you see the journal on the page, or somebody walks in and tells you about the fucking story, right? So you can't so it's kind of weird to be like we're potato paste. So anyways, ketchup, man. So yeah, you're kind of like the guy tells you the fucking things, so now right? There's no way you don't know now, right? So you're gonna care, and well, you're not gonna care, but you might respect the person that's telling you the story, so you're gonna listen, and now it's in your head, right? And then you grow older, and as you grow older, you see more and more in that shit. The news just keeps repeating the same shit every fucking day. Everywhere you look, everybody's saying the same exact thing every fucking day, bro. Come on, man. Potato with ketchup. These guys are treating us like ketchup, bro. Ketchup, bro. Like nothing. So it's remarkable, And then, but they say it's a democracy, though. That's what they call it. They call it a democracy. The freedom of the people. That's freedom. We don't even know. We have no idea. It's fucked up shit. you know, and all that shit could just be delusional, fucking, ideas. Even though, of course, I got receipts. If you really want to go down that route, but that's not what I'm trying to talk about. Even though, well, I'm obviously talking about what I'm talking about, but But I'm speaking on the standpoint of like the everyday person, bro. Like everyday person knows too, bro. Like you can't not know. You see, like it's gonna happen at some time and point. You can go for a couple of years, a good amount of years, bro. But when you become like a grown up, that's when you know that that shit exists, right? Like when you become a responsible person, right? When you get your shit together, you know, when you get your shit together, that's when you're kind of like, oh fucking shit, dude, what? And some people just roll with it. They're like, fuck it, you know. But and that also doesn't help with the ketchup treatment that we're receiving right now, bro. It's not helping. It's not helping at all. Like, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. So, and like I said, you open up your own, you know, your own little, you know, club. And, you know, the other day I saw, there's like a channel that opened not too long ago. It's called the Semen Retention Club. Holy shit. Like, okay, you know, they got a club. You know, I don't think it's a. I mean, shit, you never know because people are real serious about the semen retention shit. So, you know, yeah, it's like it's a spiritual thing now and stuff. Anyway, which it kind of wasn't at first. I feel like I think semen retention club is like for like, anyways. So, anyways, man, I'm gonna leave you guys on the semen retention club. I'm gonna let that marinate. Pause. Like, so, anyways, no, I'm kidding. You know, I'm stupid. So sometimes, a lot of the times. So I'm gonna see you guys on this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry about that. I hope you guys. I was thinking, you know, because that's some pretty deep shit. You know, if you think about it, like, you know, I mean, because the idea of, if you know, because I'm not qualified to say certain things. So, you know, I look at it on a philosophical standpoint so that nobody can say that I said something, right? And on a philosophical standpoint, if you think the idea of blocking a specific set of people from advancing because of what might or might not be a valuable, you know, talent or knowledge or something, know-how, whatever, you know, because you don't want to get left behind. That's, you know, and I mean that's a lot. And I mean, didn't you already prove your point too? I mean, like, if you like, because we're not the ones ruling the world, you know, and now you have it, and what you're doing with it is like gay shit, you know. So pardon my language here, pardon me for saying, you know, I want to sound narcissistic, but it's what's going on, and it's kind of like, it's fucking weird, you know. It's a weird way to go, you know. That's all I'm saying. At the end of the day, all I'm saying is this is a weird way to go. That's all I'm saying. If, like, you know, in the movies, you always hear the guy say, there's those people saying, you know, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out with a bang. I mean, like, you know, well, I guess now I understand what that means now. I guess. Nah, I'm kidding. But you would think that's how people would. You would think that's how a lot of people would perceive the entirety of their civilization being completely and utterly destroyed. If I ain't gonna, I mean, we can't go out like punks like that, bro. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, like that's how we gonna go, bro. Like what? Like straight up bitches, bruh. Like, so. Anyways, it's interesting. I'm wondering, and I know there's like a lot of people that talk about the current state of. Well, there's not a lot. Let's stop. No, there's not a lot. There's not a lot, okay, and you can name them all in like you can use both hands to name all these people that are doing it. Maybe less. Who knows? Right? But you hear like Jordan Peterson sometimes and stuff like that, and people along those lines. You know, sure, there's people that are a bit worried, or they show that they're a little bit worried about how people are thinking. So, I mean, yeah, Ben Shapiro, which I don't agree with all the time, but yeah, at least he's a critical thinker. Like, at least he's like he can make like he can what is he's I mean, I guess. Oh damn. All right, okay, so they talked about him, and I was gonna say it's not like when he presents himself in a state of, of a higher power or some shit like that. No, I do that, I do this, I think that, and that's it, and that's fine, and I think that's okay, and but now there's a war on that aspect of yourself, which is weird. That's a weird place. That's a weird battlefield. Like, who fucking cares? Like, what, like, who gives a shit? Like, not seriously, no, I'm not like trying to downplay myself or downplay somebody's illustriousness, bro. But at the end of the day, like, you don't give a fuck if I give a fuck. Like, I mean, maybe a little bit. Like, if you see me walk down the street, you'd be like, "Whoa, why doesn't he like me? What the fuck?" Like, that's whatever. But you're gonna think about it for 5 minutes, and then it's a fleeting moment in the space time continuum, right? So, but now there's a group of people that are making that their standpoint for doing shit. Right? Like, for wilding the fuck out, for crashing out, bro. Like, for shit, bro. Like, that's crazy. That shit crazy as hell. But and the worst part is they're super narcissistic about it, because now they're acting like they're the ones being persecuted for being themselves, when they're the ones persecuting people for being themselves, bro. And that's just like, wow, this is just like fucking crazy. That's a weird reaction, bro. Like, it's just, I mean, shit, talk about being pissed. I mean, like, you could be pissed, but motherfucker, like, relax. It's not that serious, bro. Like, no one fucking cares. And and I don't like this. This is a weird battlefield. I mean, like, you would think the battlefield that we would be fighting right now would be like the world of hunger, And I know that's a big thing, That's a huge deal. But you would think that that's where this shit would have really like flipped over its fucking head. You would think, like, there'd be like a big huge debacle, political debacle because of fucking food crisis in other countries and shit like that, and not wanting to help, or not want, or what, some shit like whatever the case may be, or they did want to help but somebody stole the shit or some shit like that, and blah blah blah, and now people are blaming people, and that, you would think something like that would have happened, but not, attacks on uh you know you're a person that wakes up at 8 every morning and you eat the same fucking eggs from the same fucking restaurant or the same fucking supermarket for the past fucking 5 years or some shit, or 10 years or whatever, and that makes you a dangerous person for being like that, because nobody acts like that, and probably they can't act like that, but they could, but they just don't because they don't feel like it, or what the fuck ever it is, or they're just fucking on drugs and shit, and their fucking vision is skewed and shit. I don't fucking know, but something is something along those lines, obviously, which is kind of weird to say, but that's what it is. you know I'm sorry to break it to you. So anyway, and and it's kind of weird. It's fucked up. It's fucked up shit. It's fucked up shit. Um, yeah. So that just happened. So anyway, so yeah, it's a weird battlefield to die on. It's a weird hill. It's a weird hill. I think humanity has chosen the weirdest fucking hill to fight on in the history of the fucking universe. I mean, this is just fucking stupid. Bro, like, this is just dumb, and everybody's acting like, people are acting like this is intelligent shit. Like, people are acting like, it's stupid. You know what stupid is. I don't need to explain to you stupid shit, okay, motherfucker. I mean, like, you've been watching the same fucking stupid Dumb and Dumber videos and laughing in the same parts as I have, so you know what stupid is. You go to comedy shows, whatever, what comedy is, and you can't fucking tell me this is not the funniest fucked up shit ever. Like, like it the fucking Joker, man. That's why we like the Joker. So anyways, I said I was gonna go like 30 minutes ago, so I'm gonna leave you guys on that one, and have a good one. Peace out.